The global cloud computing market is about to hit $900 billion next year, and it will keep growing. This creates a critical need for cloud security experts. That's why you absolutely need to start learning cloud today. And Azure is your best start. AWS might be the most popular one at the moment, but Microsoft is catching up fast for many good reasons. And in this video, we will focus on Azure specifically and dive together into a roadmap, which will guide you on how to start learning cloud security, where to focus, and which certifications to pursue to become a cloud security expert. Firstly, if you have zero understanding about cloud, you need to learn about the technology in general. That's why we will start with the foundation first. You will learn about the terms in general, such as infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and so on. This will apply to any of the cloud providers. For that, you have many different options where you can start your journey. You can go through this roadmap where it's structured into different sections. So first you will focus on cloud computing, move to the cloud architecture and services, then management and governance, and lastly monitoring in the cloud. You can click on any of these arrows and you will find the links where you can learn about this in more depth. If we go back, there is one ultimate recommendations I would have for this section specifically. Because if you want to become an expert in cloud security for Microsoft specifically, Azure Fundamentals certifications after that is your best start. And that's my only certification that I would absolutely make to learn cloud. Because you will learn core cloud services and basic security concepts like identity management and governance. This is critical because no matter which role are you aiming for, you need to have this fundamental knowledge of cloud. After that, spend some time going deeper into identity and access management. That includes Microsoft Entra ID, conditional access, role-based access control, single sign-on, tokens, and multi-factor authentications. Go through each section and see all the modules that are provided in here. If you want to do any certifications to learn this content, I would say SC300 is your best pick, but I wouldn't focus on this certification at all if I wouldn't aim to become something like cloud security engineer or solution architect or consultant. The certification goes a little bit too deep in my opinion. Alright, next on the list is network security, which is absolutely must have learned skill even in the cloud. Because just like in on-premise environments, network security in the cloud is about controlling access to your resources, preventing unauthorized access, and minimizing attack surface. In the cloud, the perimeter is more dynamic as applications and data are no longer confined within your physical network but span across the global infrastructure. Therefore, Azure Network Security revolves around defining secure virtual networks and applying layered defenses. To achieve this layered approach, there are many different services and solutions that you can run inside the Azure. So in this section, you will find a lot of them. I would start with the Azure Virtual Network, learn about Azure Cloud Shell, and dive deeper into the network security groups, Azure Firewall, and there are also other solutions, Azure Front Door, Azure Bastion, Azure VPN, and so on. There is one certification when it comes to networking, which is AZ700, but again, I wouldn't recommend you to do the certifications if you don't plan to transition into cloud network engineer, but having a general understanding of virtual networks, network security groups, and so on will be very beneficial to you. And in this section, I would say there is a good time to do some hands-on practice as well. That's why I have also included applied skills on my roadmap. This one specifically is all about configuring secure access to your workloads using Azure networking. The lab itself is 2 hours long. You can take it as many times as you want, but I think there is a 24 hours delay to take it again. In this assessment, you will learn about key concepts such as DNS, Azure Firewall, network security groups, virtual networks, and so on. Your goal in this applied skill is to go into the Azure portal and configure it yourself in the portal. I think this is a brilliant way to learn the skill, and I would highly recommend this to you. Now that you have solid foundation about identities and networking, it's time to move into data protection and encryption. I should also mention that from now on, some concepts and technologies that you have learned before might appear again. That's because cloud environment is very complex and different components work together to ensure secure environment. So, for example, Azure Data Protection. Here you will learn about data confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So if I click on Azure Encryption Overview and I move down, you will learn about data encryption at rest. But if I scroll down a little bit further, because this is a new stuff, right? You have transparent data encryption, how to encrypt data for SQL databases, always encrypt, Cosmos DB, and if I scroll further, you have encryption of data in transit. So this will be about the networking, TLS, Azure Storage Transitions, SMB encryption, RDP sessions, secure access to Linux, VMs with SSH, Azure VPN encryption. This is something we had in the networking section. And honestly, that's fine. Just make sure that you went through everything and that you have good understanding about the technology. Besides encryption, look into Azure Key Vault, which is used to securely store and manage keys, secrets, and certificates. Lastly, we have the compliance and governance sections. In the cloud, there are many different tools that help you with compliance and governance. I put just few of them in here, and I would mainly focus on Defender for Cloud, which I would do some hands-on as well. You can find it in here. Again, we have applied skills, this time for Defender for Cloud, regulatory compliance controls. You can take the assessment, and if you scroll down, further down, there is a learning path that you can take and which will help you to prepare for the assessment as well. When it comes to a certification, SC400 is the best one, which I would recommend mainly to people looking for compliance job positions, because it goes very deep into this domain. Last section on this roadmap is all about threat detection and response. I didn't include too many resources in here in purpose, since this roadmap is mainly for the beginners and should be really for anyone working in cloud security. Therefore, having general understanding about different solutions such as Microsoft Defender XDR, Microsoft Defender for Cloud, or perhaps Microsoft Copilot for Security should be sufficient enough. For the log management and monitoring section, I think Azure Monitor and Microsoft Sentinel is everything you need to know. Of course, they were mentioned above, but here we are going a little bit more in depth, and it doesn't hurt to go through them again. Of course, if you aspire to become SOC analyst, incident responder, solution architect, you will have to go deeper into this section. That would mean creating your own SIEM solution, and again, for that you have applied skills, and I also have some YouTube videos covering Microsoft Sentinel. So here you have it, a complete roadmap to learn cloud security from scratch. Lastly, I have put this section in here where you can go and check and track your progress, so you know where you left on and where to focus next. This is a Notion template. So you can click on this button right here, and this will duplicate this roadmap into your own Notion if you use it. Just a final disclaimer, this is my personal recommendation how I would learn cloud security again if I had to. Start with the free resources and go from there. And once you go through everything, by the end, you will have a pretty good understanding of cloud security in general, and you can decide where you want to focus next. Okay, that's everything from me. Thank you for watching. I will leave link to this roadmap in the description, and please subscribe and like for more cloud security content in the future.